everybody, it's Michael Martin. Thanks again for all the comments and your feedback. Please like and subscribe because we get to see what, episodes really resonate with you. We can see the views. We kind of look at the views as well as the hours watched and also the comments, right? Because there's not just one way. There could be, sometimes it takes folks a while to process what they're listening to eventually leave a comment, but they'll come back and they'll watch the video over and over and over again. So that gives us some good data as well. Because again, I don't want to be creating things that you don't care about. It's a waste of time for me, and it doesn't provide any value for you, not from an information standpoint, nor for maybe an entertainment standpoint. So I have a few emails that I got away from the channel, but personally through the blog on the grind. And man, if I know enough about the grind. So the grind typically is a state of being, right? When you know you're putting in the hours, you think you're doing the intentional work. You probably are, but you don't really know. But your P&L isn't really moving, right? And so now it becomes a bit of a chore because if you're not in it, you can't win it. But the market's just not amenable to your trading style. Market might not be moving in any one particular way, long or short. You have people who like to fade bigger moves. It's not my style. I typically don't like moving against the trend. But there's guys who like to feel like they're smarter than the market. And instead of catching the bigger up move in the direction of the trend, they want to kind of catch the pullback. I guess it takes all shapes and sizes. It's not for me, but because I want to make the most amount of money for the least amount of work, right? So I want to catch the bigger moves and just stay with the winners. But when you get to that spot where you're feeling like you're grinding, the best thing that you can do is actually take time off and start to reevaluate your goal. Like, what is it? Why is it that you're doing what you're doing in the first place? Because if we're all pleasure seekers on some level, everything that we do somehow adds up to economic utility, which can be pleasure. And working hard feels good. Certainly did for me growing up. But ultimately, you want to be able to work smartly. And there's just times in the marketplace where nothing that you're going to do is going to work. And so the best thing to do at that point is to sit on your hands. The big fear, though, is that, I'm missing out on opportunity. But again, if you are looking at one pattern, for example, or one instrument, chances are it's not going to be life-changing if you missed a couple of days deliberately, right? It's really good to refresh. When I was in New York City, I think I had a laptop with me, but I didn't really open it. I was mindful of my equity. I had my protective stops in, but I was just chilling. I wasn't worried about where the market was going to go because I figured, excuse me, that I deserve some time off. Everyone can take a vacation. I put a lot of time in to lots of different endeavors, and it's okay to completely let all of them go and just free up because it recharges you. I'm not feeling the grind right now, so that's not why I took time off. I just kind of did it because it was a good time in the calendar to do it. But if you're putting in too many hours and you're not seeing the results, you definitely want to take some time off. And I also want to point out that this is why it's important to have endeavors outside of trading that can help you stay balanced, right? For some of you, I wrote in the book about, going in through Central Park. I spent a lot of time there last week, not doing really anything but walking around and just chilling. You can, obviously, there's folks who like to go to the gym. That's great. I don't particularly care about lifting weights. The weights don't really hit you back, but some folks like it. Some folks like to go for a run or a bike ride. I do jiu-jitsu. And so I also paint. I haven't played a lot of guitar the past few months, but I feel like I have all the spots filled in. Obviously, I do a lot of reading to stay up on things. But I feel when you have that type of a balance, it can help you with the grind, because then if all you're doing is market-related stuff and you're in the grind, it tends to amplify it. when you have a balanced life, when you do stuff with your friends, when you know, have other things away from work that you can put your head down into and have some fun, then, you know, each day kind of goes into the next one where, look, you have a process, you're following the process. Sometimes the markets are good, sometimes they're not great. And it's not a personal reflection on you, but you don't want to obsess, right? You don't want to obsess and lose your balance. Because that's so important in life, is to have balance, because it's a marathon and it's not a sprint. If you're going to trade for 20, 30, 40 years, I can assure you no one's going to give any crap about what happens in August of 2023 in the grand scheme of things. Even if you're trying to build a professional track record, right? The best thing is to not lose. And so I think anyone who's an allocator knows that the markets are kind of trying. And if you can walk through this period of time and not have big losses, right? That'll be very, very revealing from your track record as well. So be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself, because I don't think, you know, no one else is, right? The market's there to always morph and to not steal, but take your money. So it comes down to who has the most discipline, because all the money that you ever want to earn in all of your trading is going to come from somebody else's account. So the question then is, who's got the most discipline? Right? To me, it's not so much the best strategy. Who has the most discipline to keep their losses small and to not go for broke because they just can't take it anymore. And that's kind of what happens when you find yourself in the grind, is you're just like, I stop caring. And then you end up taking a much bigger loss on either one trade or several of trades, and maybe even go on tilt because you just can't take it anymore. And that's when you've lost focus as to what it is or why it is that you do what you do. And your goal is to grow your capital, which means you keep the losses small, you let your winners run, right? So at any rate, I think we've all been there. I know I have. And I know it was hard for me to process when people said, you need some time off, you need to take some time off. Because I always felt like, well, if I just worked a little harder, if I got this one more piece of insight. And, you know, the truth is that was stinking thinking. That was not the case. That was not what got me out of the grind, was this new strategy or this new idea or trading this new asset class. You don't want to leave, like Tom Cruise said in the first Top Gun movie, don't leave your wingman. And if you're doing one thing and you do it very, very well, but it's just not working right now, that's how markets work. Every once in a while, they're gonna change, and they won't be amenable to your trading style. So the goal then at that point is to learn how to preserve your capital. If you're really new in the business, I would not start to change trading strategies, changing asset classes, because that's you acting out of desperation. And you know that times are going to ebb and flow, and markets are going to ebb and flow. And it's really just a matter of time before your trading style comes back into fashion. It might not feel like it because you don't know when. But again, go back and watch the videos on dealing with uncertainty. The best thing to do is to not let those impulses undermine yourself. Let me see. Did I say that right? You just don't want to undermine yourself with your behavior. So it's okay to feel those strong feelings, because I have them too. I just don't let them infiltrate my trading. You should hear me when the camera's off. You know what I'm saying? So I have those feelings too, but I know I'm not going to be my own worst enemy, right? Because whether you follow a system, they don't remove emotions. We're emotional people. Human beings are emotional beings. You can't separate the two unless you were in awakenings and you were catatonic. You probably weren't trading those either. But of course, everyone has really strong feelings about things. But you can't let those feelings compel you to go to your keyboard and to put on trades that you have no business being in, right? That's kind of professional behavior. So at any rate, thanks very much, folks, for being here. Coming up on 10 minutes. I'll be here tomorrow, and then I'll see you again next week. Take care. Okay, everybody, thanks for being here. Please take a minute, like and subscribe to the show. You could also leave a comment. I don't have all the answers, so it's good to get some feedback. Also, if you would like to support the show, check out the links below. You can get the free audiobook of The Inner Voice of Trading, and also information about the course that I teach with Victor Sperandio. Thanks for being here, folks. I'll see you tomorrow.